Madam Clerk, the time is now 7 p.m.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The time is now 7 p.m. I'd like to call this regular Township Council meeting to order. Roll call. Councilwoman Perone,
Present.
Councilman Anderson,
Present.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Present.
Mayor Whitfield.
Present.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Police Chaplain Thompson to lead us in tonight's prayer.
Good evening, Chaplain Thompson. Good thing.
Kindness and tender mercy. We thank you, Lord God, for this day that you have made, and we will rejoice and yet be glad. God, as we come together as some of your children, we're praying for this council right now in the name of Jesus, that they will all come together and agree. I'm praying for the township, Lord God, praying for all our community leaders that are established and that have run the course. I'm praying more for the school system and the administrators, Lord God, our teachers, Lord God, our children, Lord God. Right now, in your precious name, I ask you right now that as we come together, that we will be able to reconcile things that need to be handled. And I'm praying for the future of Willingboro. There's so much that has to offer here, and we want to continue to do great things in this place called Willingboro. As a community at large, let us continue to grow and enlarge our territory as we continue to do the work you've called us to do. So right now, in your name, we ask you to bless each and every council representative that's under my sound of my voice right now. Bless them as they come together and present to the community those things that they believe will be helpful to this community. And I ask for the community to come together with the council, that we will all come together and agree and grow together. I ask you right now, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen, amen, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Thompson. Please rise for the flag salute.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Compliance statement. Notice was provided in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 to the Burlington County Times, Trenton Times, and Philadelphia Inquirer, stating the date, time, place, and the agenda to the extent it was known. Additionally, notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to our it's November still. December. Oh, it's December. Welcome to our December meeting. We have a full house today, and we have quite a few things to get through on our agenda. But first up, we have a presentation from Civic Plus. Gentlemen?
Good evening, council. Thank you for having us. And thank you, Chaplain, for the beautiful prayer.
Mayor, if I may give a little history. Our website is due, our contract for our website is due to expire in mid of 2026. So we're in the process of finding a replacement provider, and we have contacted Civics Plus as one of those possible providers and asked them to come this evening and give a presentation on their functionality and capabilities and why this may be a good fit for Willingboro. So that's who they are and the why they are here.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Nice to see you again. He's exactly right. Part of this project is the website, and there's also, Civic Plus is much more than a website company, so there's a lot of opportunity for growth. If we could go to the next slide, please. Thank you. This is a little bit about, the agenda for the preparation for the presentation. We'll go over a little bit about why we're here today, what we've been talking about, introduce you to Civic Plus, give a nice little overview, and then show you how the project that we've put together addresses some of the challenges that we've discussed. Essentially a little bit, about what we've heard during these discussions. It sounds like leadership is really looking for a modern, professional visual presence that really aligns with Willingboro and supports transparency and accessibility. Um, there's been a lot of increase in Oprah volume. Sounds like maybe the agenda process could be streamlined, the recreation process as well, and some of that software could be enhanced. But ultimately, there's a siloed solution. So recreation, agenda management, website, and the Oprah management, these are all functioning separately. They're not working with each other. They're not integrating with each other and functioning efficiently. So sounds like really Willingboro really has a desire to consolidate these systems and provide a frictionless experience for residents while at the same time simplifying workflow on the staff side. And I definitely want to say you all are not alone. Civic Plus has been around a long time, and we strictly work with local government. These are challenges that everybody is facing, so you're definitely not alone. It's a struggle to do the best that you can with the resources that you have. A little bit about Civic Plus. We are the leader in GovTech. It's an integrated technology platform for local governments to connect public employees and elected officials with the citizens that they represent. We have over 10,000 customers in the US. We work with all 50 states. We have over 276 customers in New Jersey alone, like Pennsauken Township, Morris Township, Burlington County, and Camden County. Stevie Awards are awards that are given for excellent service and excellent customer support. As you can see, we have very high client retention and client satisfaction rates as well. This is what this project solves for. In short, centralizing Oprah processes, modernizing content and navigation, ensuring accessibility, especially with the new DOJ requirements coming down the line, and ultimately reducing vendor sprawl and consolidating everything into one central platform. This is going to prepare Willingboro for long-term change and implement a long-term accessibility plan to make sure that everything is covered and all of the information that you all are putting out online is accessible to all residents. And this is Civic Plus as a whole. So thank you. Willingboro is already a social media archiving customer. We appreciate that. Civic Plus, as you can see here, is much more than a website company. The highlighted boxes in yellow are included in the project that we've put together. The blue box, of course, is social media archiving, which is Willingboro is already utilizing. And the gray boxes, there's opportunity to grow with Civic Plus as your community continues to grow. People or businesses are growing. You may require some additional services, and we do want to partner with you for the long term. If you click one more time there, it should pop up the what's included here in this project. There's a lot that's included in this project, but there are a few things here that I do want to call out. ADA compliance is definitely a priority for Civic Plus and for local government. That is part of this plan, is to make sure that you all have the tools in place to make sure that everything you're putting out there is ADA compliant, fully accessible to folks with disabilities and for that demographic. Additionally, to ensure that this transition is smooth and successful, we have dedicated consultants on our end that are going to assist with website cleanup and the launch of the website and these additional solutions. Civic Plus, of course, will provide ongoing support, and you will also have a dedicated client success manager who's going to make sure that Willingboro is getting the most out of all the solutions that they have with us. This is a little bit of a sneak peek of that portal that I was talking about. So Civic Plus, as you can see, is much more than a website company, but the website is the central keystone to everything. That's where all of your systems are going to live. So this is what the resident portal is going to look like. Here they'll be able to access their agendas, any alerts and notification, any online forms, Their recreation portal is going to be a part of this. Integrated payments is going to be a part of this as well. Any permits and inspections, they'll be able to access everything in one place. And your staff is going to be able to have a single sign-on. So they're not going to have to bounce around to different systems. They'll be able to make all the updates and all the changes across all these different departments, all in one place. We're excited for what's ahead, and we're excited to be here. It sounds like Willingboro is ready for a modern, unified digital experience. This project brings together your website. It brings together meetings, Oprah records, and community services like recreation, all in one seamless platform. So residents are going to have a much clearer, more welcoming way to engage with their government. And staff is going to regain modern workflows that are going to reduce stress and free up time for higher impact work so they can get back to their duties. The township will strengthen transparency, accessibility, and long-term digital readiness. We're very excited about this partnership, and we can't wait to get started. At this point, if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, council, any questions? Mr. Harris, I do have one question. So some of the other platforms like MyRec, will MyRec be going away?
MyRec will be integrated. No, not MyRec. Say that again? MyRec. Right, it'll be integrated into Civics Plus.
Yes.
Go away, yes.
MyRec will go away.
Go away. and
Yes.
Replaced with the Civic Plus Recreation Management Solution.
Point of order, Madam Mayor. Are you able to hear me? Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, whoever just spoke, I was not able to hear anything that they said except for the person who's standing by the microphone.
Mike, I think my colleague, my colleague said that MyRec will be replaced by Civic Plus's recreation management solution.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for the presentation. My questions really are more for the administration, because I do think that it's great to migrate to a platform that has more features. I think equally important is an assessment of the township's capacity to take on a project like this. Even with the website we have right now, we didn't get through all the phases of implementation to fully launch. And so my concern is less about Civic Plus. Like I've seen some of the work that they do with other municipalities and with the county. I think my concern is more about making sure that the administration is clear about what the vision is. We understand all the different things that we're trying to get done, and then be able to partner with Civic Plus, because otherwise we're going to be in the same situation we're in now, where we still have things we just never turned on. We didn't activate it. And so that's my concern, is just making sure that if we're looking at this with a new partner, that we're prepared on our end and that there's the capacity within the township to do the work.
So thank you, Dr. Worthy, for those comments. And yes, that's something that we have been discussing with internally and with Civics Plus. Part of this transition is not going to be a hurried and rushed transition. The implementation will probably take 6 months. So one of the things that we are going to be looking forward to doing is for a little short term, a few months, extending our contracts with Granicus, so we can make sure that we review all of the pages we have in our current website, see what we need to keep, what we need to get rid of, make sure certain applications are designed and put together functionally correct from the beginning, and to make sure that all of our needs are met from day one. We're not trying to rush this and be done by March. We want to make sure it's done fully and completely.
Thank you. May I continue?
Mhm.
No, I appreciate that. So I've suffered through one of our integrations before, and it was in excess of 6 months. Because there was so much work to do, I think we underestimated how much prep was required to be able to then work with the vendor and then to move forward to get it done. Have we done a full assessment to understand the modules that would be coming in? Will they provide the full level of service that we need? For instance, my rec has a lot of modules in there. The calendar function, you can pay, you can register for different classes. It can send out correspondence, media blast, like it has a whole slew of things. Has anyone done a line for line to understand what we have today? And if we shift, and if it's a good shift, does it meet all of the needs that we have today and the future needs for recreation as they're expanding and doing more work? Has that been done?
So I believe that has been done on several levels. This has been discussed with the clerk's office, with the administrative office, and with recreation. They have had several meetings with Civics Plus, and I believe those integrations, those modules, those needs have been assessed. And that was one of the reasons why we chose Civics Plus, because I think that they can fully flip on all of these switches that have not been utilized in the past. Even some of the things that we are currently utilizing, I believe Civics Plus will be able to integrate those into their systems. And so, like you said, we were doing a lot of silo work, and it may all be integrated into one program. You have something you wanted to add to that?
Very, very well said. Just to add an extra layer of comfort, there's a huge difference between a MyRec implementation and a Civic Plus Recreation implementation. It's something that we are well versed in because we help a lot of municipalities across the country make that switch from MyRec to Civic Plus. It really starts with the implementation and the dedicated implementation consultant that Gary and Ashley will receive. It's a handheld approach. It's not just throwing over some training videos and saying, get to work. The people that we hire as implementation consultants, we hire them directly from local government that worked in recreation departments of local government. They've helped over 1,200 municipalities across the country implement the solution. So from a best practice standpoint, they have the ability to work with your team in place and really truly develop and make sure that you're getting the most out of the actual solution by the time you launch. On top of that, as Alex mentioned, each one of the solutions you'll receive a dedicated customer success manager. And that customer success manager is tasked with reaching back out to the departments 2, 3, 4 times a year sometimes, and making sure that the solution is getting the most out of and making sure that your long-term vision is actually met.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Anyone else? All right, you had
I
something?
just wanted to add one thing for Dr. Worthy. When I originally met with Tanya regarding the website, these were concerns that were brought up, and we have built in addition to the implementation person, I've built in extra consulting to make sure that this does not happen, and to make sure that that transition is very smooth. So as Kevin said, it's a very handheld approach. Not only are we going to hand migrate all of the content from your existing website to the new website, we're also going to work with you all one-on-one to make sure that everything that gets moved over is what you want to move over, so that when you launch, you have a fully compliant, clean, easy to use site for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, and I've had a number of conversations with Mr. Harris and Ms. Savino about this migration. I appreciate kind of like the package presentation because that really helps bring it off into perspective. I know there were some issues with the payment processing with the forms. Has that been resolved?
Like when you talk, like, are you talking about the Stripe account?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's for GoGov. This is for Civic Plus. They use
We use our own.
they use
Yes.
they don't use Stripe. They use their own payment processing. portal, and many municipalities in New Jersey do use them, and they do work with New Jersey Finance as well. So
Okay.
that is something we did make sure that
Okay.
won't happen again.
So will we still be using GoGov, or are we migrating everything over to Civic Plus?
We will still be using GoGov for permits. Civic Plus in the clerk's office at least will be for boards and commissions, agenda management, and Oprah.
Okay. And then will it also be for inspection forms and?
Those are all capabilities of the site, yes,
Okay.
and recreation needs as well.
All right. Well, I'm hopeful, and I hope that it is able to be fully implemented. I know previously there were a number of modules that were never used, never turned on, and that's quite unfortunate, especially when we paid for them. So I hope that doesn't happen with you all. You seem confident, so I'm
Yes, ma'am.
gonna go with the vibes on this one. And if the
This
administration says this is what they want, then
We don't want you going off of vibes. We're very confident, but we're also very passionate about what we do. Again, I live here in the state of New Jersey, so I'm not going anywhere. Alex isn't going anywhere. And Civic Plus has a long-standing tradition of delivering exactly what you need and being accountable.
all right.
This is what we do.
All right. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
All right. All right, moving right along, we'll go on to our proclamations for this evening. Now that we are officially in December, it kicks off the holiday season. And we'll start with our proclamation declaring December as Cultural Celebration and Community Kindness Month.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. Proclamation declaring December Cultural Celebration and Community Kindness Month. Whereas Willingboro Township is a vibrant and diverse community whose strength is built upon rich cultural traditions, histories, and contributions of its residents. And whereas December offers a unique opportunity to highlight and embrace the many cultural, ethnic, and religious celebrations honored by families throughout the township, fostering mutual respect, understanding, and unity. And whereas Willingboro Township recognizes that kindness is a powerful value that strengthens community bonds, uplifts individuals, and promotes an environment where all residents feel valued, supported, and included. And whereas acts of kindness, whether small gestures of compassion or community-wide efforts, enhance the well-being and spirit of Willingboro and serve as a reminder that every resident plays a role in shaping a positive and welcoming community. And whereas the township encourages schools, businesses, community organizations, faith groups, and residents to engage in cultural learning, celebratory events, acts of service, and expressions of gratitude throughout the month of December. And whereas recognizing December 2025 as Cultural Celebration and Community Kindness Month affirms the township's commitment to honoring diversity, nurturing community pride, and fostering a culture where kindness and unity flourish. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Samantha E. Whitfield of the Township of Willingboro, on behalf of the governing body and all residents, do hereby proclaim the month of December 2025 as Cultural Celebration and Community Kindness Month in Willingboro Township, and encourage all residents to participate in meaningful acts of kindness and to celebrate the rich cultural heritage that makes our community exceptional. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman McIntosh. So in the spirit of the holidays and community kindness, I also want to take a moment to recognize some residents that are here this evening with a proclamation. Proclamation honoring Pete Fabry and Kim Fabry. Whereas the Township of Willingboro values the safety and well-being of all individuals and acknowledges that true heroism often emerges in unexpected moments. And whereas acts of courage and selflessness performed by ordinary citizens exemplify the highest ideals of community service, compassion, and heroism. And whereas on a Friday evening in 2025, Pete and Kim Fabry were enjoying a peaceful evening near the river when they witnessed a vehicle crash into the water under dangerous circumstances. And whereas, recognizing the immediate threat to human life, Pete and Kim responded without hesitation, coordinating emergency assistance and taking decisive action to ensure the safety of the vehicle's occupant. And whereas, though through extraordinary courage, quick thinking, and determination, Pete and Kim were instrumental in rescuing the driver from the sinking vehicle, preventing what could have been a tragic loss of life. And whereas their actions not only ensured the safe rescue of an individual in distress, but also served as an inspiration to neighbors, first responders, and all who learned of their bravery. And whereas Pete and Kim's commitment to helping a fellow human being in a dire situation reminds us of the profound impact that empathy, readiness, and courage can have when lives hang in the balance. And whereas the town of Willingboro proudly recognizes residents who go above and beyond to protect others, embodying the values of kindness, vigilance, and service that define our community's character. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Samantha E. Whitfield of the Township of Willingboro, on behalf of the governing body and all residents, do hereby commend, honor, and express deep gratitude to Pete and Kim Fabry for their heroic assistance, extraordinary bravery, and unwavering commitment to saving a life, and further recognize them as exemplary members of our community whose actions reflect the very best of Willingboro. Will Pete and Kim please come up?
Thank you very much. Oh, yes. Pete Burnett? Come on up.
I just wanted to thank God for putting us in the right spot at the right time. I want to thank my wife for wanting us to lift the sunset. And wanted to thank the fire department for responding so quickly and the EMS team for patching us up. So I appreciate it very much.
So thank you again, Pete and Kim, for your bravery and heroism. It really is what being a member of the Willingboro community is about. So thank you so much for helping a fellow resident in need. And that will conclude our proclamations for tonight. I will turn it over to Mr. Harris for our resolutions overview or for our municipal updates.
Thank you, Mayor. We don't have a whole lot to go through this evening. With the holiday season upon us, things have been distracted, but the business of Willingboro is still moving forward. Earlier in the month of November, the municipality had a successful bond anticipation note sale. We issued $8,428,210 worth of bonds, which included amounts that were appropriated but never funded, by ordinance number 2023-18, 2023-19, and 2024-13. The proceeds from these sales and the issuance of these notes will be used to temporarily finance the cost of various capital projects for which the obligations have been authorized but not yet issued, and provided permanent funding for the costs incurred in connection with these different ordinances. We received extremely favorable interest rates for these notes, 2.7%, which was very phenomenal, based on our financial performance and recording history for Willingboro Township. So again, this is just another testament to the financial stability that we are striving for here in Willingboro. Just to note, for our fire crews, they will be training on the new vehicle extrication tools that were recently acquired thanks to the council. They will be doing training this week between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 12 p.m. each day, and each platoon will be taught by the vendor how to properly utilize these tools when cutting patients out of a vehicle. And this training will take place on their properties, and they get to cut up a complete car each and every day. So I don't know where the cars came from, but DPW has been very busy collecting leaves during this season. Leaf collection in Zone 2 began on the 17th, and as of the 14th of November, every street in Zone 1 has been completed at least twice. So as of the 24th, there have been 58 loads of leaves collected, which is equal to 1,295 cubic yards of leaves collected. So they are still out there diligently working and gathering up leaves, and will be completing that process very soon. I would like to encourage residents that if you have leaves that need to go to the curb, please do not wait. Please put them out at the curb as soon as possible, because when the collection is complete and we will transition to preparation for snow removals, they're going to be covered with snow until next year. So please don't delay. Get your leaves on the curbs so they can be collected. I would like to just give you an update. As of today, our inspections department has brought in $945,262, and they are on track to be another $1 million year in revenue collection for 2025. So Mr. Tunsil has a few weeks to get over the hump, but we believe that he is going to do it. And I would also like to take a moment to congratulate Ms. Keisha Clark, who has passed her state hotel and multiple dwellings exam, and she is now certified to assist with inspecting apartment buildings here in Willingboro. And congratulations to Ms. Clark. I would like to officially announce that our Human Resources Department has moved over to the JFK Center. They are located down on the first floor. Our Communications Department has relocated to the old Human Resources spot downstairs in the municipal complex. If you have an opportunity, stop by and visit Ms. Jackson's digs. They are very warm and cozy, and that's where the candy is, Councilman. Just a note, the construction on the field is moving right along. I believe they have been working diligently and taking up the old track and laying down the new. So that they're still several weeks out, but it is moving right along. We also received a $305,701 grant from the New Jersey Department of Transportation under their FY 2026 program, which will be used to rehabilitate East Lane and East Gate Lane roadways. And we are grateful for that. I did put on your desk on the dais asking for an additional resolution be included in the business for this evening. It is a resolution authorizing the submission to the Department of Community Affairs for the 122,000 grant that we were awarded for the EMS equipment, which was used to purchase 2 stretchers and the Lucas CPR machine. Part of the receiving of the grant is the submission of the grant application, and I would like to have it submitted and finalized prior to the end of the year, before we transition governors. So I'm just going to ask if you wouldn't mind if we could include that as a walk-in resolution. And just 2 personnel notes. We are announcing the pending retirement of Deputy Fire Chief Mark Friedel, who will be retiring at the end of January. And we received notification that Mr. Don Thompson will be retiring from the Department of Public Works in 6 months. So, and that is all that I bring to you this evening for municipal updates.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harris. Any questions for Mr. Harris on the municipal updates? No? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Harris, will we have the events update from Ms. Jackson?
Oh, yes. Ms. Jackson, thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Ms.
It
Jackson.
is the most wonderful time of the year. You love my red. Thank you so much. We are just a few days away from our annual tree lighting, which will be on Friday, December 5th. We are anticipating clear but very cold weather, so we are encouraging all of our residents to bundle up as we kick off the season with a full evening of holiday cheer, area vocalists, the Willenboro High School Marching Band, and of course, there will be a visit from Santa. Hot chocolate will be served by Strong Brew Coffee Company. We will have holiday cookies by Garfield Park Academy. And of course, township giveaways while supplies last. That event will be held on Friday, 7 p.m. right here in front of the complex. And once Santa helps us light the tree, he will begin his visits in each of the parks beginning on Saturday, December 6th. This year, Santa Run will run from December 6th through the December 12th. Visits will occur from 5 p.m. until 8. The first stop will be Hawthorne Park and Garfield Park North. And for more information about when Santa will be in your park, we do encourage you to visit our website or check us out on social media. There is going to be a Santa tracker as well. Breakfast with Santa will be held on Saturday, December 13th, and that will be at 10 a.m. at the Kennedy Center in the banquet hall. The deadline to register was yesterday, so we are looking forward to more than 100 guests who will be attending this inaugural event. We will close out the year with our 3rd annual holiday house decorating contest. The portal is now open for residents to submit pictures of their holiday decorated homes, and then the deadline to submit is December 12th, and winners will be announced on Christmas Eve via social media. All residents should have received a holiday mailer kind of outlining all of these events, but if you did not receive a copy, they are available here at the complex and here today in the meeting. We do encourage you to stay tuned for more information regarding a special holiday program we will have on December 20th at the Kennedy Center, and that will be hosted by Faith in Action. As you heard, the leaf collections are underway and currently in Zone 2, and upon completion next week, the Department of Public Works will circle back to revisit some of the areas that they deem appropriate, but it will all conclude on December 31st. So we want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. Remodeling of the Kennedy Center track is underway. As a reminder, the track will be closed during remodeling, but we are looking forward to a nice track. On Wednesday, January 14th, all residents are invited to a community recreation summit. The event will be held from 6 p.m. to 8:30 in the banquet hall at the Kennedy Center. Light refreshments will be served at 5:30, so all are encouraged to arrive early and prepare for an evening of information, conversation, and collaboration. There is a registration and survey available on our website and social media for more information. So we want to encourage our residents to be a part of that. And as always, all this information is on our website, our weekly social media, YouTube channel. So please check it out if you need more information. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
All right, and Mr. Harris, you can go on to the resolutions overview.
So being presented to you for this evening for your consideration is ordinance number 2025-24, which is an ordinance that will add an article under the taxi cab provisions of the code to include limousine licenses. This ordinance is coming from the clerk's office, so if Ms. Savino would like to expand on that a little further, I will defer.
Yes, so this ordinance really just codifies and communicates a little better about what the state requires the municipality to have on file for limousines. We do have a pretty extensive taxi cab ordinance, however, it doesn't really translate over to limousines, and we do have a couple companies in town, so I just want to make sure we're licensing them properly and that they're giving us the correct information. You will see that the updated copies are in front of you. There were a couple slight changes just to the wording and stuff for 24 and 25, but I have the new copies were printed and are in front of you, and I emailed them to you, and they're up on the website. So everyone should see the new copies now. So there's that one. And then Mr. Harris, if you'd like me to.
Please.
Okay. And then following that line, 2025-25 for your consideration for introduction is just the clerk's fee ordinance. We had to add in 2 lines for limousine licenses. So it's just, making sure we're consistent throughout the code, but nothing else is changing.
Thank you, Ms. Savino. Ordinance number 2025-19 is an ordinance establishing standards and requirements for commercial properties to obtain a certificate of zoning and compliance. It is recommended that the council approve this ordinance to establish the requirements and procedures for obtaining a certificate of zoning compliance for all commercial properties. Ordinance number 2025-20 is an ordinance amending Chapter 150 of the Township Code entitled Department of Inspection Fees to establish a certificate of zoning compliance fee. Again, it is recommended that the council approve this ordinance to amend the Inspections Department fee schedule to include a fee for the review and issuance of the certificate of zoning compliance for all commercial properties. Ordinance number 2025-21 is an ordinance amending Chapter 150, Section 7 of the Township Code entitled Department of Inspection Fees to increase rental, multiple dwelling, resale, and certificate and compliance inspection fees. Again, it is recommended that the council approve this ordinance to increase inspection fees to ensure that the housing department can continue to provide efficient and compliant inspection services. The current fees no longer reflect the true cost of operations, administrative processes, and technological upgrades. Ordinance number 25-2022 or 22 is an ordinance amending the Uniform Construction Code fees in Chapter 150, Section 6 of the Township Code to reflect fee changes and introducing the fees for electronic permit submissions. This ordinance will update the permitting fees and establish new fees that are associated with the new requirements for the electronic submission and processing of construction and building zoning permit and applications. We did invest in the equipment several years ago, but now the DCA is ready to move forward with the implementation of those processes, and this would establish the township fees for the utilization of those services. Ordinance number 25-23 is an ordinance of the township amending Chapter 150 fees of the Code of the Township of Willingboro to add a surcharge for administrative costs of municipal vehicles being used for off-duty assignments. There are occasions where contractors are in the township doing construction work, whether it be road work, mostly road work, where they're required to have our police department do traffic control. The vendors do pay for these additional services that are then passed along to our police department, but we also are the recipient of fees in relation to that, which cover administrative costs for the equipment that they use, like insurance, gas, maintenance, and that's why feel it's appropriate to increase the fees for the administrative fees for the vehicle uses for our department. So some of the costs of maintaining our vehicles are passed on appropriately. We can transition into resolutions. Resolution number 2025-7 or 273 was a resolution that was tabled from the November 5th meeting, approving the plan and design for the JFK Center remodel and expansion of the senior center at the JFK Center. Resolution number 25-276 is a resolution authorizing the approval of vouchers and the payment of bills and ratification. Resolution number 2025-277 is a resolution authorizing budget transfers for the Willingboro Township to meet the requirements for operating the affairs of the township. During the months of December and November and December, the township is allowed to transfer available appropriations that have been unused to cover shortages in other areas to make sure that we maintain a balanced budget. Resolution number 278 is authorizing the refund of the overpayment of taxes. Resolution number 279 is a resolution authorizing the extension change order number 1 for the contract for public meeting agenda management. This is the extension of the Granicus contract for a period of 6 months so that we can continue to operate and function while we transition into our new provider. Resolution number 280 is a resolution authorizing a change order for the contract for plumbing services for Falaska Mechanical. At the beginning of the year, we did appropriate $20,000 for the contract for Falaska, but during the course of the year, we have encumbered more than $20,000 worth of services from them. So this is extending the not to exceed so we can pay them what they should have been paid for the remainder of the year. Resolution number 281 is authorizing change orders number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for a contract with J.H. Williams Enterprises for the Willingboro Performance Arts Center Phase 2 project. These are change orders that have been incurred so far during the Phase 2 project construction. Change order number 2 is in relation to stage curtain upgrades, and I believe is probably the largest portion of these change orders. Change orders 3 is a credit for PVC. Change order number 4 deals with exhaust fan removal and infill. Change order number 5 is related to fabric upgrades to the curtain. And change order number 6 is also related to the rear muslin curtain change. So these are all change orders for that particular contract, which I believe totals $27,013.99. The next resolution.
Mr. Harris, before you continue, can you just explain where we are with the budget on the Performing Arts Center in relation to all the change orders?
Yes, and Ms. Diggs is away on vacation, so I don't have the exact numbers, but I am aware of what the appropriations were by the council for the totality of the 2 projects. We are under budget or under our appropriated amounts, so under budget. And the project, although extremely delayed, is moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
282. Yes, resolution number 282 is a resolution authorizing an increase in, or change order number 2 to the not to exceed amount for Panoni Associates for the provision of general engineering services. It's important that we, or necessary to increase the approved not to exceed amount to cover the cost of outstanding bills for their general engineering services rendered, which include professional engineering inspections and related costs associated with the 2025 contract year. Resolution number 283 is a resolution authorizing change order number 4 for a contract with Levy Construction for the Willingboro Performance Arts Center Phase 1 renovation. This project incurred some increased costs due to the delay in construction at the very beginning, where it kind of stopped for a little bit, totaling $43,680.55. This actually would close out this contract with Levi Construction, as this is just the last outstanding expenditure associated with them in that project. Resolution number 284 is a resolution authorizing the Township of Willingboro to establish a not to exceed for McCloskey Mechanical Contractors. They are a contractor who are participating in the New Jersey State Approved Purchasing Cooperative, and we are contracting with them for HVA services and for the provision of boiler repairs at the JFK Center. Resolution number 285 is a resolution authorizing a change order for T&M Associates for the provision of engineering services to the Township of Willingboro. This is in relation to the work on Babbitt Lane and the stormwater management basin rehabilitation. They will perform additional engineering services for that project and will also prepare additional works related to the wetland and top of bank delineation. They will complete the NJDEP pre-application and the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection's freshwater wetlands general permit application. So that's what those funds will be utilized for. Resolution number 286 is a resolution authorizing a not to exceed for Remington Vernick for the provision of general engineering services and award of a contract. Remington Vernick, we're looking to increase them by $5,000 to provide general engineering services. The pool aggregate of the contract for them in the 2025 was $32,795 for general engineering services, but we need to pay them $37,795 for the remainder of this year. Resolution number 287 is a resolution authorizing a not to exceed amount for Carlson Group Incorporated for the procurement of additional file cabinets and scanners and related services. We utilize digital file cabinets and scanners and the services related to them in the Township Manager's Office, and I would like to expand those to our Inspections Department, our Housing, and our Human Resources Department. And I believe that the Carlson Group is best suited to meet the needs for the township in these areas. And resolution number 288 is a resolution to affirm Willingboro Township's civil rights policy with respect to all office officials, appointees, employees, prospective employees and volunteers, independent contractors, and members of the public who come into contact with municipal employees, officials, and officials and volunteers. As we prepare to make our biannual updates to our employees' policy and procedures manual, we are required to include by our GIF this policy affirming our commitment to treat the public, the employees, prospective employees, and all those named in a manner that is consistent with all applicable civil rights laws. And that those are all of the ordinances and resolutions being presented to you this evening for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. At this time, we'll go to public comment. This is the first public comment for agenda items only. You will have 2 minutes to speak on any of the resolutions or ordinances that are up for a vote today, or anything that was just mentioned in Mr. Harris's report. This public comment, as I said, is the first public comment. I believe we won't be doing public comment from online tonight, but we will take it here in the courtroom. Public comment is now open. Agenda items only. Come on up.
Hello.
Please state your name and address.
Yes. So my name is Charlena Thompson. Was there anything else I need to mention, or just my name?
Nope.
Okay.
Name and address.
Yeah. Last known address in Willingboro, actually it was 20 Tremont Place in Willingboro in Twin Hill Park.
Okay.
So my question, or I kind of would like to get a little bit more information about your item 288 for the civil rights you're going to be affirming civil rights policy in regards to the public. And I guess I would kind of like to know more about how you are planning to do that. What does that involve? Does that also involve children, because children are also part of the public? I guess a better introduction for myself would be maybe someone who stands to represent and stands to speak for those who are usually less heard. For those who don't know that they have a voice that they should and can use. So it is, for myself, but for more than that. And because I'm sure that there's people who, I'm just finding out things that I didn't know that I'm able to do. And I'm going to be 38 on the 4th. This Thursday is my birthday. So I'll be 38. And there are things that I'm just finding out as an adult. So in hearing this is the first time that I even knew about this. I've been in I was born and raised in Willingboro. I actually know you, but we went to school together. But anyway, I was born and raised in Willingboro, and just finding out about this, I didn't know anything about this. So I'm glad to know about it. I'm glad I heard about it. I'm glad I came tonight, and I'm glad I saw that item, because I do have a lot of questions about how that policy will be enforced. How will it be basically, I don't want to say played out, but for lack of a better term, played out. How do you plan to apply that also to, the ones who can't speak for themselves, the minors, the babies, and maybe the ones who are infirm, disabled? How will that?
That's your time.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson.
Should I sit down? Yeah.
If there's no further public comment is now closed. Mr. Harris, can you just talk about how that policy is enforced?
So the policy, or in itself, what we are affirming is that no official, employee, appointee, or volunteer in Willingboro will knowingly, in any way or part, engage either directly or indirectly in any act, including the failure to act, that constitutes discrimination, harassment, or violation of any person's constitutional rights. While such official employees, appointing volunteers, are engaged in and acting on behalf of Willingboro Township, their business, or using the facilities or property. it is going to be something that we are going to need to not only train our employees on, but continually work to make sure that they are compliant with these rules and regulations. Discrimination, harassment, and civil rights for the purposes of this resolution are defined containing the applicable federal and state laws concerning discrimination, harassment, and civil rights. And it is the requirement of this office, myself, to establish written procedures for any person to report alleged discrimination, harassment, or any violations of civil rights. And then those procedures and processes will, or I guess I'll be further required to report to the governing body as well on an annual basis, violations of this, and communicate with the alleged violators, and make sure that they are in compliance with the laws. This is the first step in this process, as it will require a complete process of putting together a plan and course of action. And I will be working in conjunction with our legal counsel and our human resources department to put together, compile those processes and procedures that we will be bound with. And just to mention to Ms. Savino that a copy of this resolution is required to be published in our official newspapers, so the public is aware of this policy here in Willingboro.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Any questions? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Harris, with what you shared, is there a preliminary timeline that you can share? So if Ms. Thompson wants to follow up on where we are or what those policies looks like, if she wants to see more information, do you have a preliminary timeline in mind?
I do not have a preliminary a completion timeline, but we have already begun the process of putting together the policies and procedures for the reporting. And I will further discuss that with our Human Resources Department and Legal Counsel. And if Ms. Thompson, I believe we will have your information on the card, and we can reach back out to you and give you any further updates as we move forward in the process.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
And Mr. Harris, just a little further, this may be a really great topic for the in-house trainings that we discussed during the budget hearings. So I hope you add this to your list as well.
Thank you.
All right, seeing nothing further, Madam Clerk, can we go to ordinance 2025-24?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Can you hear me? Am I speaking loud enough? I don't.
Just speak directly into the mic.
I know. Okay. So, ordinances for introduction tonight. We have ordinance 2025-24. Can I please get a motion to introduce ordinance 2025-24 entitled an ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 342 of the Code of the Township of Willingboro entitled Taxi Cabs to update and expand regulations pertaining to limousines and rename chapter 342 of the Code to Taxi Cabs and Limousines?
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Next ordinance for introduction is ordinance 2025-25. Can I please get a motion to introduce ordinance 2025-25 entitled ordinance amending chapter 150-9 of the Township Code entitled Fees for Licenses and Permits to permit collection of unpaid mercantile licenses and add limousine fees?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinances for public hearing and final adoption. I'd like to open the public hearing on ordinance number 19 titled Ordinance Establishing Standards and Requirements for Commercial Properties to Obtain a Certificate of Zoning Compliance. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance, please do so. Seeing none, I'd like to close public comment on this section. Can I get a motion to finally adopt ordinance 2025-19?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, I'd like to open the public hearing on ordinance 2025-20 titled Ordinance Amending Chapter 150-7 of the Township Code entitled Departments of Inspection Fees to establish a certificate of zoning compliance. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance only, please do so. Seeing none, I'd like to close public comment on this ordinance. Can I get a motion to finally adopt ordinance 2025-20?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving forward, I'd like to open the public hearing on ordinance 2025-21 titled Ordinance Amending Chapter 150, Section 7 of the Township Code entitled Departments of Inspection Fees to increase rental, multiple dwellings, resale, and certificate of compliance inspection fees. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance only, please do so. Seeing none, I'd like to close public comment on this ordinance. Can I get a motion to finally adopt ordinance 2025-21?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2025-22, I'd like to open the public hearing on ordinance 2025-22 titled Ordinance Amending the Uniform Construction Code in Chapter 150, Section 6 of the Township Code to reflect fee changes and introducing the fees for electronic permit submissions. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance, please do so. Seeing none, I'd like to close public comment on this ordinance. Can I get a motion to finally adopt ordinance 2025-22?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Finally, I'd like to open the public hearing on ordinance 2025-23 titled Ordinance of the Township of Willingboro, amending Chapter 150 fees of the Code of the Township of Willingboro to add a surcharge for administrative costs of municipal vehicles being used for off-duty assignments. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance, please do so. Seeing none, I'd like to close public comment on this ordinance. Can I get a motion to finally adopt ordinance 2025-23?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That's all of our ordinances tonight.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. On to our resolutions. I'd like to ask council if there are any resolutions they would like to pull from a consent agenda.
Yes. 2025-282.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Any others?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman
2025-288.
All right, noted. Thank you, Councilwoman Perone. Any others?
Madam Mayor, would you like to add the walk-on resolution? Okay, so,
Yes.
or would you like to discuss it separately?
I'll add that to the consent
Consent.
agenda.
Okay. So just for the record, we are adding resolution 2025. This can be 289. It's titled Resolution Authorizing the Submission of a Grant Application to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for Capital Equipment 2026 for the acquisition of essential EMS equipment for Willingboro Township.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And then also, we tabled Resolution 2025-273 at our last meeting. We still have not received those updated plans from our engineer, so would you all like to table it once again before we do the consent agenda? Okay. All right, so I make a motion to table Resolution 2025-273 until 2026.
Can I get a second?
It's been moved by Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'd like to make a motion for a consent agenda for resolutions 2025-276 through 2025-281, 2025-283 through 2025-287, and resolution 2025-289.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve the same?
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, resolution 2025-282.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So resolution for separate discussion tonight, we have resolution 2025-282 titled Resolution Authorizing an Increase Change Order Number 2 to the not to exceed amount for Pannoni Associates for the provision of general engineering services. Can I get a motion to discuss resolution 2025-282?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Discussion.
Yes. Mr. Harris, on this resolution, I know there were emails going back and forth regarding another change order for 200-something thousand with Pannoni. Has there been any updates? Because I noticed that this is another change order.
So that was a change order for 300,000 from Pannoni, where they feel that the services that they have provided to the township in relation to the Performing Arts Center, they should be paid an additional $300,000 for their services. I have not supported that. I have told our engineer that they haven't submitted any documentation, no paperwork, anything other than we feel that we are deserving of this money. There has been no accounting. There has no justification for that amount. It was almost like they just picked it out of the air and said, pay us. And my response to them, until they justify that expenditure or what they feel is that expenditure, I'm not even going to bring it to you for consideration, because what would you be considering?
Okay. And this change order here is what? How much?
This change order is for $5,000, which is basically for their general engineering services, increasing the appropriation from 20,000 to 25,000. However, Pannoni has already done $48,000 worth of work So this change order would increase that to 53,000, but the difference therein is pretty much related to inspection services that they have been providing for the PSC&G work and things like that, which are paid from separate pools of money, but it does increase their not to exceed by that $5,000.
That's not something that our engineer does?
That's not something that
Our engineer, Russ, meaning Russ?
that is correct, because Panoni started with that project, and PSC&G actually gives us very substantial amount of monies for those inspections. And Panoni is very familiar with their processes, and I felt it was prudent for them to continue doing those inspections.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving forward with our resolutions for separate discussion, we have Resolution 2025-288 entitled Resolution to Affirm the Willingboro Township Civil Rights Policy with respect to all officials, appointees, employees, prospective employees, volunteers, independent contractors, and members of the public who come into contact with municipal employees, officials, and volunteers. Can I get a motion to discuss Resolution 2025-288?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Discussion. Councilwoman Perone?
Yes, thank you. I recognize that civil rights is absolutely necessary to make sure it's outlined where all individuals are treated with respect, regardless if they're in the workplace or in the community. However, this resolution is counterproductive because it speaks about the Willingboro Township shall not engage directly or indirectly in any act. That includes volunteers and employees. I think we all recognize that we have staff members that actually live in Willingboro, and they do volunteer. And communication will involve speaking, will involve phones, will involve emails. Okay, so, and this is part of the challenges where the Parade and Events Committee fell upon because Mr. Harris, it seems that you want to have no communication with the community and the employees, where that is absolutely ridiculous. Because whereby I understand you don't live here, Mr. Harris, but a lot of employees that worked in the township actually live here. And you know what? They're our neighbors.
But Councilwoman Perone, I don't think that this is not what this
okay.
resolution is pertaining to. This is a requirement from our GIF to affirm that we will the state laws of civil rights policy. This doesn't have anything to do with communication.
But however, it does. So, and I understand the civil rights. That's why I started off civil rights. I have no issue with that. Section 1, no official, employee, appointee, or volunteer of Willingboro Township by whatever title known or any entity that is in any way a part of Willingboro Township shall either directly or indirectly in any act. Okay, let's pause there. In any act. Good morning, clerk. Hello, I need balloons blown up for the parade. You see, that's what I'm saying. It's getting that, like you said.
No,
this
but
is
it's talking about violating civil rights.
no,
It's not talking about communication.
No, that speaks about communication. When it says in any act, an act is like what we're doing now. We're speaking across a radio feed. Okay, that's an act. That sentence needs to be ejected from this part because that is impossible to have. We have committees, we have community service members that volunteer for our committees. How is it that they're going to volunteer for the committees but not speak to anyone that works for the township? That is,
Councilwoman Perone, if you would just continue reading that.
yes, okay, including the failure to act that constitute discrimination, harassment, or violation, including, which means harassment, I have no problem with that. Yes, that should say, but to include any act any
Keep
communication.
reading, reading.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so again, it's continued here. Or violation of any person's constitutional rights while such official, employee, appointee, volunteer, or entity is engaged in any act, okay, on behalf of the township's business or using facilities or properties of the township. That is everything that takes place in the township. Recreation Department, JFK. What I'm saying is that those words conflict with each other. I have no problem if it says shall not harass or discriminate against, but the part where it says to act in any act, to directly or indirectly shall engage. It's not just speaking about, and I think maybe you're only seeing the part about discrimination, but this is not about solely discrimination. This is about communicating with employees, volunteers, and such forth. That's how I'm reading that. And if it was already in existence, why are we adding it now? If it made sense before, right? What are we changing now? Okay, the Parade and Events Committee has not put on any events because of this exact problem. You cannot have people from the community not be able to communicate with people that work in the township. You know, giving direct orders, I get that. But this paragraph is extremely troublesome. Okay, and it cannot, and we need to separate, I think it needs to be separated and completely just speak to harassment, discrimination solely, but to put in a sentence not to shall not engage or indirectly or directly. How do you not engage indirectly? What defines that? Okay.
Councilwoman Brown, if I may.
Yes, please.
So in section 1 of resolution 2025-288, it does say, you're correct in that it says in any act, but it says in any act, including the failure to act that constitutes discrimination, harassment, or violation of any person's constitutional rights. It doesn't say any act, it says any act that constitutes discrimination, harassment, or violation of any person's.
Madam Mayor, I see that
Right.
part. You know the part that says including, right? So at first it's leading.
Including failure to act.
Right,
So which means that if they see it or witness someone being discriminated against or harassed by a township employee, not acknowledging that, not filing a complaint form would constitute a failure to act. So that is included. So in any act of discrimination or failure to act on acts of discrimination or harassment.
I think it needs to be separated because we need another resolution that speaks to you're an employee, you're a volunteer. Yes, you can communicate. Yes, you can interact, because to create this resolution, it's basically an oxymoron type of a resolution, because you cannot have volunteers and employees and not be able to communicate, and you cannot add civil rights.
No, but that's not what it says, Councilwoman Brown.
Well, that's how I'm reading it the way I'm reading it, and I'm section 1. That's the biggie. There's more in here, but no official, employee, volunteer of the township, whatever title or any entity that is in any way part of the township shall engage. Then it says comma, shall engage. We have to dissect what that means. Shall engage. We all know what that means. Speak to, email, talk to. Okay, then it goes comma, either. Now this part is really interesting. Directly or indirectly. So how do you indirectly not engage? Those two sentences right there, again, oxymoron type. We need to, I'm not comfortable. I think it's very clear. I'm not comfortable with the wording. I understand civil rights.
About violation of civil rights of an employee or volunteer.
That's different.
Or directly or indirectly. So even if you don't speak that harassment directly to the person, you can still be harassing someone indirectly or violating their civil rights indirectly. And that's what this is speaking to. But I think I understand your point, Councilwoman Perron, and it has been noted.
Okay, because it's not, if it's only speaking about discrimination, I have no issue with that. But the fact that not to engage, that means not to communicate, period. And that part needs to, as far as I'm concerned, needs to be redacted because we're talking about shall not, if you say shall not harass, shall not discriminate by way of directly or indirectly, okay. But that's not what this is saying. This is saying shall not, and it outlines any form of communication with volunteers, regardless of your title. And it goes further into
Okay.
preventing communication.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perron. It has been noted. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
No.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. And that's all the resolutions I have for.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report for November 2021, 2025. November 21st, 2025, sorry.
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Perron.
We have line item 77001 for $1,600. What was spent on Quiche Creations LLC? What was that?
Mr. Harris.
I'm sorry, what was the line item?
Sure, it's 77001 for $1,600.
I will have to get that information from the chief financial officer and I will get back to you or Ms. Thanks.
So you don't know what Quiche
Ms.
Creations
Jackson. Ms.
is?
Jackson knows what it is. Hold on one
Okay.
second.
Yes,
perfect.
Kish Creation creates the decorations for our events. So I believe that that bill was for 3 events.
Okay. Like some of the events that you put on recently, like the veterans, that
Yes,
type
I
of
want to
thing?
say the Trunk or Treat,
Okay,
the Veterans Day, and the upcoming December events.
okay.
Okay.
All right, I think that was the only one I wasn't sure what that was. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perron. Seeing no other discussion, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second to approve the regular meeting minutes of November 5th, 2025, and the budget hearing meeting minutes from November 12th and 13th, 2025?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, your updates.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have a ton to report for this meeting. I'm sure next meeting, ending the year, we'll have a bit more, but I did want to keep everyone updated on the solicitors we have in town. We don't have any new solicitors that have applied since November 5th. So we have 2 people from Trinity Solar, 4 people from Top Line Roofing, 2 people from Home Solutions, 1 person from Home Smart First Advantage, 1 person from Green Star Exteriors, 12 people from Eco Shields Pest Control, and 12 people from Allied Experts. Again, if you do not want people knocking on your door, you're more than welcome to apply for a no-knock permit either on our website or through the clerk's office. We mail them out once a month, or if you come to the clerk's office, we'll just give you the sticker. And if you do have a sticker already visibly on your door and people are still coming to your door, feel free to call either my office during the day, the police. We want to make sure that people are following the rules and are legally allowed to be out and soliciting. The other thing I wanted to apprise the public about and the council is we got our final statistics that were published by the county for the most recent election. You can find the specific results on the county website or request a copy from my office, but I have a couple statistics for you. We had a total of 12,206 votes, registered voters vote in this election. 2,604 of them were through mail-in. 2,857 were through early voting. 6,564 were on actual election day, and 181 were through provisional ballots. That is about 46.66% of our turnout rate. So we have 26,158 registered voters in our municipality. So we had almost 50% turnout rate, which I do think is, pretty good for not a presidential election. So that is the statistics. And then I just wanted to take a moment to say that I want to thank Civic Plus for coming out. We've been talking with them especially clerk's office, I've been talking to them since probably April or May. So it's not something we've discussed lightly. We've reviewed with them a lot. I think we have a good team in place on our end to implement it properly, which is half the battle. So I am excited to kind of see where that goes. And those are my updates right now.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Also, I'd just like to take a moment to recognize our clerk, Ms. Savino, and congratulate her on receiving her CMC certificate, that's Certified Municipal Clerk. Congratulations, Mrs. Savino. I know this is an accomplishment that you've been working on for 5 years. So congratulations on bringing it, and we look forward to your growth here in Willingboro.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
RMC, it's a step higher than RMC,
Yes,
correct?
it's nationally recognized, so.
So we have the cream of the crop here in Willingboro.
Thank you.
All right, so congratulations once again, Ms. Savino. If there are no other questions for our clerk, we'll go on to unfinished business. The Hometown Heroes banner project. Councilwoman Perron, do you have any updates?
Well, I had a discussion with Sam, the clerk, regarding putting together a preliminary resolution for discussion. I know she said she may or may not be able to get that by this meeting, so I'm not sure, Sam, if you were able to get a draft together or not. But that's where we are right now, to create a resolution outlining, a rough resolution outlining legalities behind the whole program.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman Perron. And Mr. Harris, can you just talk a little bit about the vendor that you talked with at the league?
Yes, at the League of Municipality, there was a vendor there that specializes in the production of these types of banners for the community. I was able to snatch one of his samples of what the banner could look like and give you a touch and feel of the material. It's very sturdy material. Although that's just a smaller example of what the full-size banner would look like, just to give you an idea of, the possibilities that are available in Willingboro. They would assist us with the installation of the bracketing and all that, those things, or provide us the bracketing and all of those things as well.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harrison. You are still working on your team on the financial side and what this would cost for implementation, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, and there's an item here about basketball court complaints. Did you have that?
So that was me.
Oh, okay, Councilwoman Perron.
Yeah, so under ordinance 2024, I did get a call from a resident, so I said I'd bring it to our discussion tonight. Ordinance 2024-23, it does speak to, the basketball goals and trampolines not being placed in front of the garage door. I recognize the trampoline being an issue because it should be, you know, in the backyard. However, the basketball goals, it's designed to be in front of on the driveway. So I wanted to see what your thoughts were to amend that ordinance whereby it can exclude or allow for basketball goals. As so long as it's on the property, you know, where they typically would have it, which would be, you know, underneath, where is it, in front of the garage door and not distracting the street side. But our ordinance does say you cannot have it there. So just wanted to bring that to discussion to see what did you think about just, you know, taking that off. I think it allows for, if we can remove that, then it allows for families to have, you know, their children playing safely at home as opposed to elsewhere. And again, those basketball goals, that's how they were designed to be on the driveway. So what are your thoughts about amending that ordinance to allow for basketball goalies to be on the person's property in the front of the garage doors?
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman Prone. Any other comments on that?
Madam Mayor,
Councilwoman McIntosh.
we did recently have that discussion. Someone did come in and we were going to, I thought we were going to relook at that. However, in the last couple of weeks, with this wind, I was definitely for keeping them in the front. However, the last couple of weeks, I've seen these things slam down really hard with the wind. They have not been supported in the driveways. And it's about 4 that I saw crash down when the wind picked up, which seems like danger to not just to the people that play with them, but to possibly neighbors. So I do want to just bring that up so that we can put that into consideration.
Mhm.
I was for definitely keeping them in the front. But I think we do have to look at the safety issue. Maybe if they're weighted a certain way, they can remain up front. But I did see quite a bit this last couple of weeks
Mhm.
fall down very, very hard, and possibly be very destructive.
Okay,
And
that's a good point. What if it's a seasonal type of an item where during the winter seasons, the heavy, you know, the deep winter seasons, maybe they're removed from the front? Or like you said, maybe requiring a certain type of, I don't know, I don't have one, but certain type of material that's supposed to be used to weigh them down, and not just someone using things from their house to try to weigh them down, but actually using what's designed to weigh them down is another thought. But making it a seasonal item, spring through summer, maybe even fall, but then
Yeah.
what are your thoughts about that?
For me, I don't know about seasonally because I think wind can happen in any season. But I would be interested in pursuing maybe if there's a way to weigh them down, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure as, you know, the weight capacity, you know, if the ones that fell were weighted down.
Right. It sounds like they were not properly weighted down. Because I mean, I've drive through other communities, people have them. So, but I get that's a valid point. You know, we want our residents to be safe, especially the mailman coming by. Yeah. So any other thoughts on that from any other
Yes,
council?
and I've been talking with some of the middle school youth about this ordinance in particular. They brought it up to me as a point of concern in their young lives. But we have been discussing with them, or I have been discussing with them, different things that we can put in place or amendments that we can make to the ordinance to make sure that it is still safe for all residents, and they're able to still play basketball in the street how they like to. So I am, you know, workshopping it. I'm open to re-looking and revising this ordinance. So Mr. Tunstall, if we could all work together to do this. Or just to revisit. Yeah, you know, you got to come to the mic. You know you gotta come to the mic, sir.
So, good evening.
Good evening.
The ordinance refers to all sports apparatus. It's not just basketball goals. So the way the ordinance reads, it says, in accordance with 370-15E, secondary use, no barbecue grills, inflated amusement devices, play sets, outdoor playhouses, trampolines, or sports apparatus may be placed or erected in the front and or of the side of any lot. So that refers to soccer goals and all sorts of things that people put out in front of their house and leave them out there. They're not meant to stay out there 24/7. That's really the issue. If you were to play basketball and take the goal and put it in your backyard after you're done, that's something totally different. But when you leave those apparatus outside, it is an eyesore. And I've had more complaints about them than I've had complaints about not having them. Any other questions?
Councilman Anderson.
Madam Mayor, also, because it's stated as apparatus, if we look at making an exception for that, would preclude someone else who plays soccer from coming in with each of the different apparatuses that are encompassed within that ordinance to say, you made an exception here, let's do it here. So we just need to consider all of that.
I agree. Okay, any other discussion on that? All right, as we move into
One other, I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, as far as with this item, so we looking into it or we're not moving forward with looking into excluding basketball goals?
And that's exactly what I was just about to say,
Oh,
Councilwoman
okay,
Moore.
sorry. Go ahead.
We will review this ordinance and look into how we can make it fair and equitable for all residents and still keep our youth enjoyment in mind.
Okay.
All right. All right, on to new business. Madam Clerk,
I did that. I thought that was new business.
no, that was unfinished business. We had talked about that issue before.
Oh, okay. Well, I do have another old business item.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Perrin.
Mr. Harris, at our last council meeting, I did ask if you could give us some sort of letting us know what you're doing about the grass. I know you blame the county, but I'd like for this item to stay on the agenda until we have green grass and edges cut. So have you done anything since our last meeting as it pertains to our major street areas where our grass looks like crap? It really looks horrible. Have you done anything to fix that? Greener grass and edging.
So I recall sending a comprehensive plan to the council outlining the steps that we were going to take to kind of remediate that grass situation and the length of time it would take to do that. That's not something that's just going to be done in a month or two, but it is a season or two remediation process that is going to be dealt with through the Department of Public Works and to kind of remediate that situation. The grass is suffered from years of poisoning, and we just can't go and sprinkle some fertilizer on it and make it come back green and vivacious. It needs some healing, some yeah.
With all due respect, Mr. Harris, I remember you said that. What I'm asking is, what are you doing about it? I know it's not going to be overnight. I want to know what's happening. Like, what's the next step? What month?
Mr. Harris, would you be able to send out that comprehensive plan that you sent? Would you be able to redistribute that to council so that everyone can know what steps are being taken to remediate those islands and those
I would do that. Thank you.
And can we just have it on the old business for next council meetings? This way we can discuss whatever he sends us so we can know. Yeah, I don't want it to fall behind the waistline and then we have the same discussion in 2027 that it's going to take a long time.
Duration, Councilwoman, we are entering into the winter season, so grass is dying.
No, I get that.
be much that's going to be happening with that, but we will keep in mind when the spring rolls around and it's time to water and filter and cut and maintain the grass.
Right. No, I
And,
understand.
and Councilwoman Perron, to your point, I also don't want this to fall through the wayside. I know this is high up on Mr. Bradley Chapman's list
Mhm.
to make sure our community is nicely edged and we have beautiful grass throughout the
Right.
township. So we will keep this on unfinished business.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and on to new business for the reorganization meeting of 2026. We are approaching the new year, which is the kickoff is our reorganization meeting for council, and I'll turn this over to Ms. Savino.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So in our code, it actually stipulates that council has to decide when our reorg meeting is going to be at a council meeting in December of the previous year. So I have the date Tuesday, January 6th. It's the first Tuesday of the month, which is, past practice for you guys at 6 p.m. But I just need to have council, vote on that and make it official so I can start advertising and sending it out.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we hold our 2026 reorganization meeting on January 6th
At 6 p.m.
at 6 p.m.
At JFK.
at the JFK building in the bank. Ooh, we'll just say at the JFK building at 6 p.m. in 2026.
Second.
It's been moved by Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perron,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, and last but not least for new business, we do have a presentation from our recreation department. As we all know, there have been a lot of changes in our recreation department. These are some of their ideas that they would like to run by council and the community before anything gets set in stone. So, recreation, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. And before I start, I would also like to piggyback off of the clerk and say thank you to our partners over at Civic Plus. I engaged them back in December of last year to think about the possibilities of moving on from my rec and going to Civic Plus, Civic Rec. So I'm happy that we're having the conversation and that they were able to help us today. Just as a recap, a few council meetings ago, we discussed the reorganization implementation plan for the recreation department. We are now in phase 2 of the 5-phase implementation plan. Our program evaluation and realignment is this second phase. So we're looking at the ways that we're looking at the existing programs. We're looking at the just all the things that currently exist in the recreation department and figuring out how we can realign and make sure that they're consistent with our vision. A part of the first phase of recreation of this implementation plan was bringing on new staff that will help us move the department forward. One of those new staff members, we have our recreation supervisor, Miss Ashley Opitz, who put together this wonderful proposal. So she will be giving this proposal on our behalf tonight. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Gary.
Good evening.
So, as he kind of alluded to, this is just the first phase of our implementation of what recreation is going to be, what we want it to be, and what we want to see moving forward. Next slide. Thank you. The little overview is that we're going to introduce some more fitness and wellness options, classes, and a tiered pricing structure, allowing people to choose how they want to engage with recreation. Giving us a restructure of our instructional sports and our leagues, again, including some new prices, new offerings to expand our options for our residents, introducing more open play opportunities, and redefining what our membership options and discounts include. Our department vision moving forward, since August or so, is to do more often, and do more intentionally. So this has guided what the rest of this presentation will be. But we're going to first start off with a session about some terms, just so that we're all on the same page as to what I am talking about and how I'm going to be speaking throughout the rest of the presentation. Whenever I refer to a session, that is a 4-week time period. So it ideally would follow a monthly schedule, but we know some months are shorter than others. We want to keep it consistent. So just saying 4 weeks is a session. And a class is a single occurrence within that session. So you can have a 4-week session, meeting 4 times. That would be 4 classes within that session. Instruction is teaching that is provided by an instructor. It could be to develop a specific skill, a technique, or an activity. And then lastly, a league is an organized competition where there's typically multiple teams, there's a schedule, there's rankings, there's standings. So just so we're all on the same page, these are some of the words you might hear me say, and now we know what they mean. We'll start off with our fitness and wellness classes, and we're going to be introducing a tiered structure. So as it stands right now, we have limited options for our fitness and wellness programming. We want to expand that, and in expanding it, separate it out a little bit, give a little differentiation between what a entry-level person might engage with versus a more advanced specialized program. And that is because they require different things. A tier 1 program doesn't require much equipment, low impact, maybe less certifications from the instructor. Tier 1 does require equipment. It requires a bit more maintenance on that equipment. It might require, tier 2 requires a bit more, right? It requires that higher level, higher specialization of the instructor. They might have went through more training, and it's a bit more rigorous, more advanced. So we're breaking it into 2 sections, and we're going to be hoping to include more of these class example types in our circulation. This brings us to the pay rates. And I know there's a lot of numbers, little charts going on, but it's ultimately to streamline and standardize what our residents are paying and what we're paying the instructor. It is all based on how often the class is being offered and the duration of said class. So if it's a 30-minute class, that's going to be cheaper than a 60-minute class, and so forth as you follow along the chart. As it stands right now, a lot of our class fees, the rates that we're paying our instructors don't quite make sense in terms of standardization. You might be paying $75 for a class that meets 4 times, and then $30 for a class that meets 12 times. And there's really no rhyme or reason. So we want to make it consistent, standardize that approach so it's very transparent for our residents, as well as bringing on potential instructors moving forward. They'll understand it clearly laid out. This is what I'm offering, so this is what I'm getting paid. With that, since we're going to be offering a lot more programming, I know that that can get expensive, right? If we're offering 5 new programs, the way our structure is right now, those would be 5 individual fees. I want to make more of a membership type so that someone can buy into all of those at just 1 reduced fee. So that gives people another alternative, right? Another option to pay and come and enjoy and engage our recreation programs. The essential fitness, that tier 1, the entry to intermediate level, fewer equipment, lower impact, I'm recommending $80 per month. That also includes access to our wellness center. So they get access to the wellness center and all of those tier 1 fitness classes. Tier 2, a little bit more expensive. Again, it's a little bit more specialized, more equipment that we need to maintain. You get access to all of the fitness classes, tier 1, tier 2, and the wellness center. This brings us into our sports, and I'm going to talk about sport instruction and sport leagues a little separately because they are separate. They do different things. Sport instruction is what I mentioned earlier, where we're learning a skill. We're learning how to play the sport. There is a coach or an instructor who has been trained, maybe has some certifications, and they are teaching people a skill. Currently, we offer this type of instruction in pickleball, tennis, and golf, but we are looking to expand these options moving forward to other sports as well. And these instructors will be paid. So on the next slide, you'll see the rates are very similar to a fitness class instructor rate, because again, we want to be transparent. We want to make it standardized. It's going to run on sessions similar to our fitness classes. So if someone's signing up for 2 fitness classes and a sport instruction, everything is on the same schedule. There's no confusion as to when something starts and when something ends. Everything's on the same timeline. Sport leagues are a little bit different because these happen off schedule. They wouldn't necessarily fall within those session timeframes because a league could happen for 3 months at a time, depending on what sport it is. And right now we do only offer youth sport leagues: baseball, basketball, cheer, football, soccer, track, and wrestling. We are looking to expand other alternative options for off-season or in areas that we don't currently explore. So volleyball, field hockey, and softball were the first to be discussed within our department, but certainly can expand to more. With that, we want to keep in mind, access to sports for a variety of residents, whether that is based on gender, skill, ability. We want to be able to have something for everyone. So by introducing some new sports, maybe we'll see some new faces in the building. The leagues right now, so as I mentioned, we are currently hosting basketball, football, soccer, wrestling. All of those were a little inconsistent as far as the ages, the leagues, were they run by volunteers, were they run by paid officials, coaches? So we want to restructure this to make it all align. If you're playing 6U soccer, you're going to be playing with the same people in baseball, and you're going to be playing the same people, etc. We don't want to have too much confusion with, oh, I'm in 8U here and 7U here and 10U here, right? So we want to reorganize that so all of the sports follow the same grouping of ages. It also aligns right up until the high school ages. So again, some sports we were allowing up until 16, 17, 18-year-olds to participate. At that point, we want to encourage them to attend and try out for the high school teams. So we're recommending that we stop our youth leagues at 14, which would be the 8th grade, and then have other alternative programs for our high schoolers that they aren't getting at the high school. So this would be kind of our second phase of this, is to expand our high school offerings, but outside of the sport leagues. We've also seen a decline, in that high school attendance or registration. We're struggling right now with our high school aged basketball team specifically, and we've seen it across our sport leagues with just the registration numbers aren't really high enough to continue that program offering, which is why we've discussed teetering off of those ages. These leagues are also always run by volunteer coaches. Open play. This would be when someone is just coming to the gym, to the Kennedy Center, and can pick up a ball, pick up a racket, and play. There's no structure, there's no coaching. It's just an opportunity to be in the center and be inside, be in a happy and wellness-focused place. So we want to increase these offerings as well. There are a lot of hours throughout our day when our courts are empty, and I want to see them being used. So if we can throw a basketball on the court and say open play, let's do it. Right now, we have open adult pickleball 3 days a week, but we're looking to expand specifically adult youth basketball options, and it would be contingent on staffing to monitor the space. For the youth basketball, we would also need some organization. Can't just throw a basketball out there with the kids. So that is up and coming, and that is something that we're looking into how we can support that. But the goal would be to have a nominal fee for open play, $10 a day or $30 per month per sport. So for pickleball right now, $30 a month, and you can come up to 12 times. We have a number of people taking advantage of that. The next thing would be the membership recommendations. So our Wellness Center membership right now, I'm not recommending any changes. We have consistent rates there and haven't heard complaints, so we can keep it where it's at. $20 per month for the residents and $30 for the non-residents. Pretty much any non-resident fee is $10 more than the resident fee. The fitness and wellness class membership, that would be something new, as we've already discussed, a tiered approach, tier 1 and tier 2. For the residents, the rates are on the screen. For the non-residents, it would be an additional $10 each tier. Our boxing club membership, again, no change to the resident rates, which is $50, but I am recommending an increase to the non-resident rate to follow along suit with the additional $10. As it stands right now, it's $50 for residents and non-residents. And I will also like to implement a complimentary wellness center membership for employees as well as volunteer coaches when they're in season. So for a basketball volunteer coach, they would have access to our wellness center while they're volunteering during the basketball season. Finally, the last thing I want to bring up is discount recommendations. This again was a little inconsistent before I came in. The senior rates changed depending on the program, depending on the age that you were. Sometimes you would get a discount at 55, 60, 62. So let's just standardize that aligned with what Mrs. Foster does at the senior center and say 55. So we're standardizing that across all of our registration, membership, and program fees. And this is the next slide. The senior discount would apply. Family discounts would be when there are 3 or more people from the same household registered for a program. There would be a discount at that 3rd, 4th, and 5th family member. And then a multi-sport discount. So as I mentioned, we're trying to increase the amount of sports that we have. I also recognize that that increases the need for people to pay for those sports. So let's give them a discount if they're able to join multiple sports in one annual year. How does this align with our vision? Doing more. We're increasing the fitness and wellness class offerings, realigning our sports, increasing our sports, and increasing open play opportunities. Doing more often, increasing the frequency of those offerings, and doing more intentionally, transparent structure to make sure everything is clean. There's no questions as to why something is priced this way or that way. And we want to get our residents' voices heard in all of this, which is why we're doing the Recreation Summit in January, which we recommend everyone come to. Thank you. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Ms. Opith. I know things were all over the place over there, and I appreciate the work and your recommendations and streamlining the programming over at the Recreation Center. I'll open it up to council for discussion. Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you very much for the presentation. I had a question about the open play for youth basketball. I do see the asterisk there. You may have covered it, but I may have missed it. When you say youth, what does that mean? Like what?
Youth would be under 18.
Okay, so elementary school, middle school, like any.
We would have to discuss that and figure out what those boundaries are. We wouldn't put 5-year-olds with 18-year-olds and things like that.
I'm curious about it is because it is a nice block of time. And I don't know if you all have considered what that may introduce in terms of having an after-school program with elementary, middle school. Not that it's a bad thing, that could be a great thing. But because that time block is like right when they're getting out of school, it could be an opportunity or a vulnerability to consider right there. But I do know that there is a need for more students who are looking for productive things to do after school, especially at the middle school age. They're always looking for activities. So as you're thinking through programming and pricing and what that could look like, you may want to consider an unmet need in our community, which is more for our students to have after school that's not, overly expensive. So that was my first observation. And then the second one, can you talk about the pricing again for the fitness and wellness class membership? I think you said it includes access to the wellness center, plus you can take a number of classes, any combination of classes. I'm just trying to reconcile what we have today and what that looks like if I want to take more classes.
Definitely. So within regard to after-school programs, we're definitely looking at that. We're looking at not just sports and recreation, but STEM programs, drone programs, art program, music, everything. So more to come on there. The fitness and wellness memberships, that would be tiered. So you would either pay for the tier 1 membership or the tier 2 membership. Tier 1 gives you access to the wellness center, which is currently $20, and all of the tier 1 classes. So our tier 1s are the entry level, minimal impact. So Zumba, dance, ballet, yoga.
For $20 a month.
Well, that one would be $80.
Oh, okay. See, that's where it's, okay. So
With the
that would be the
classes.
fitness, you said tier, okay, fitness and wellness classes, tier 1, 80. Okay, now I got it. I'm trying.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Tier 2 would be everything that's included in tier 1, but you also now get the tier 2 classes, which would be the high intensity or the heavy equipment, additional needs, higher specialty classes that we're offering.
Any classes?
As many classes as you want in that month.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, currently, right now, everything is separate. So if you wanted to do the Wellness Center membership, that would be $20. If you wanted to do spin, that's another $60. If you want to do Faithfully Fit, that's another $30. So it adds up the way that we currently have it. I'm trying to streamline it in one. You pay one amount and you get everything.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Madam Mayor?
Hold on one second. Councilwoman McIntosh.
Thank you. Mayor. Thank you for the presentation. I just have a couple of questions. For the tier 1 and tier 2, how competitive are we with surrounding gyms that offer the full membership of the gym plus all the classes? How competitive are we with the pricing?
Yeah, so I think we're very competitive. I looked at surrounding municipalities to figure out where our rate should be, and we're right in line with them. As far as commercial gyms and high intensity studios and all of the specialized places, there's a really wide range. If you're looking at, a hot yoga studio doing Pilates and bar and all of the specialized Pilates is up and running, coming thing right now, those are going to be very expensive. I've seen upwards of $300 a month for those. Other commercial facilities, YMCAs, LA Fitness, you might see $30 a month. So we fall right in the middle, but I think it gives us an opportunity to be more community focused and say, hey, this is what we have to offer right here in Willingboro. You don't have to go out and find these specialized places and pay for the hot yoga here and go to your gym over here. You can get everything you want right here in Willingboro. And it's not like $20 anymore, but you don't have to pay for 5 of our classes. You get all of them for one fee. As it stands right now, if someone wanted to engage in our fitness and wellness classes, it's going to be more than $80 a month.
Right, understood. I'm just thinking about like Urge is $30 and you can get all the fitness. I'm just trying to balance that.
Yeah, I mean, the commercial facilities have the backing of national facilities, and so that's why they're able to keep their prices down.
And you would collect this, is there a deadline when people would have to sign up per month? Like, somebody come in the 15th and their month goes from the 15th to the 15th, or is it the 1st through the 30th?
So we can do it multiple ways. The way that MyRec works, as well as Civic Rec, if we go to Civic Rec, we can set that threshold however we would like. It could be that the month starts on the 1st of the month, or it could be that the month is whenever they sign up, and we go from there. There's options.
And last question, I see for the Wellness Center membership, you have 1 month for $20 and then 3 months for $60. Is there any incentive to get the 3 months?
Currently with MyRec, there's no automatic billing option. So if someone were to choose the 1 month, they would have to come back every month to pay us another $20. The only real benefit to doing the 3 months is you can avoid that trip to pay every 3 months.
Oh, the trip, you have to come up there to pay?
You could pay online, but a lot of our residents like coming in person.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Councilwoman Pearl.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. My question is regarding just some clarity on the membership fee. So you have a membership fee. What does the membership fee get you if you're still paying for classes, for other things? So what do you get for just being a member? What do you get free? What does it include, I guess?
Currently right now, or what I'm proposing?
No, your presentation, I thought I saw, it says membership fee for non-residents and then residents. And then I saw the other slides where you pay for this class and pay for that class. So if you're paying for a monthly membership, what do you get at no additional charge? What do you get for the membership fee?
Yes, so we're implementing this membership so that they don't have to pay for the individual classes. It would include all of those classes at that specific tier. They have the option, if they just want to do Zumba, they can still just pay for Zumba and go with that. But if they want to take advantage of all of the classes we're trying to implement, Zumba, yoga, and spin, now that's going to rack up a little bit of money. You might as well just do our membership and get all of that included for one fee.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. So the membership fee, you're open to all classes that are offered at the township, at the JFK Center, Recreation Center. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so yes?
Yes.
Okay, so then my next question is, I did see instructor fee and then resident signing up fee. So the I'm just trying to go based off my memory. Like, let's say one of the classes, it was $100 for the $120 for the instructor. Does that mean the instructor pays the township? I'm trying to get an understanding of the revenue piece. So does that mean the instructor pays the township, or does that mean the township is paying the instructor $120 per person who joins the class? And the $30 that the member is paying to be a part of the class, where does that money go? Does it go to the instructor or does it go to the township?
So the instructor rate, that is the payment that they will receive from the township for the class or for the session. So for those 4 weeks, if they're offering one class a week, they're going to get paid a certain rate. If they're offering 2 classes a week, they're going to get paid a certain rate.
Okay.
And it's all based on $30 an hour for tier 1 and $40 an hour for tier 2. So
Okay.
it's all just based on how much are you working, that's how much you're going to get paid.
I see.
The resident rate, that is what they're paying to the township, and we put that money into trust funds so that we can further support the growth of these programs. So it will go specifically back into our fitness and wellness programs.
Okay. And then the other, I guess my last question, I didn't see anything about the pools. In the summertime, we have pools and we charge a fee. I didn't see that on your presentation.
Yes, the pools will be separate because those will be included in a fee ordinance that we are going to put together for council shortly.
Well, I mean, if it's a membership, if you're paying for membership, then wouldn't the pools be included with that?
The pools have always been separate because they operate seasonally. So it's a seasonal pool pass. It's not a membership.
Okay, so the membership does not include that. All right, and then I guess, well, thank you for your presentation, but to the council, I know I speak about this every year. I feel that the taxpayers pay enough money and everything, and I did see the employees can be members for free. But as far as the taxpayers, again, summertime is a couple of months, 6 weeks, maybe 8. If we can really look into people who pay taxes here, if they can get a free pool pass to their family members, at least 2 to 3 passes or 4 to families. I know that last summer, the thought was it was too much to think about at that time, but since we're starting the new year and we're looking at fees for other recreational activities, perhaps let's look at a way to give back to the community that we have here in this township. But thank you, for your presentation to the Recreation Department and for your time.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Thank you, Councilwoman Perron. Thank you, Ashley and Gary, for your presentation once again. I agree. I'm just going to piggyback. I don't need to rehash the whole thing, but let's take another look at the youth open play. $10, is a lot for middle school kids per session. So let's just take a look at that again. But thank you. I think this was very comprehensive. It is very clear and straightforward, and I appreciate all of your work put into this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I may just briefly, thank you, Ashley, again. So there was a fee ordinance that was attached with this presentation. I believe it was in your packets. It aligns directly with what Ashley just proposed here tonight. So we will be looking to introduce that in January.
Okay,
Any
also,
questions on that side?
as we look at that fee ordinance, as Councilwoman Perone said, let's also do another side presentation on the pool and our aquatics program. Deputy
Madam-
Mayor Wood.
Sorry, one.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
um,
I did have a question, in regards to the fee ordinance.
Yep.
I know that for event and vendor pricing, under vendors, we have food trucks. And I know that in the clerk's office, we've got pricing for food trucks. So as we move forward, I just want to make sure we reconcile, who is paying what to whom, so we don't have any confusion, about the food trucks. But I did note that in the ordinance. I see it there, and it was in the ordinance we just adopted tonight, for code enforcement. Where food
Yes.
truck prices were there.
Those would, yes, that's a very good point, Dr. Worthy, and we can revisit that one. That specifically would have been for the Jazz Fest for the parking, and then the vendors for, again, Jazz Fest, the merchandise vendors and the food trucks there, but we can absolutely revisit that as well. I appreciate that.
Councilman Anderson.
Mr. Lowry, just for thought, have you considered any type of discounts for veterans?
I don't believe that's included in this fee ordinance, but I'm absolutely open to, if that's what the will of the administration and the council, we would absolutely consider that.
Yes. Consideration.
Okay, any other
One,
questions?
one other question, Madam Mayor. I don't think I saw it on there. What about the outdoor fitness park that we just opened up? Does that include membership? And are we regulating members? I know it's an outdoor area.
No, the outdoor gym, the fitness court is free
It's
for
open.
your community use.
Okay, so you don't have to register to be there. You just go if you want. It's just open to the public. Is that right?
Unless
Yeah.
there's a hosted class that would be happening there, unless there's a hosted session or class as outlined in the descriptions that Ms. Opitz presented. Otherwise, it's an outdoor fitness facility that anybody can access at any time.
Okay, so how would you regulate that? If you have an instructor that's going to have an exercise activity outside, how do you tell the public? How do you situate it where the public can't be there, or a random person can't be there because they didn't pay?
I appreciate the question, Councilwoman. We're not there yet, and that's not proposed in this proposal or in this fee ordinance. But again, we're more than happy to have that conversation at that time.
Okay, yeah, just some food for thought, because I know it's something that we just opened up, and with your presentation involving fitness and activities and instructors, that is an area that we have, like I said, swimming pools, the outdoor fitness area, people utilize it. And I think it would be an excellent resource for some of our, the instructors that you have, but just think about a way to regulate it. This way it's fair to everyone.
Yep, I agree with you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Recreation, for that presentation once again. We have reached that point in our meeting where we are at public comment. This is our general public comment. You will have 4 minutes to speak. Please come up to the mic, state your name and address. Also, if you would be so kind to fill out a card that is on the back. So if there's anything we need to get back to you on, we can do so. Public comment is now open, and we'll start the line on this side. Oh, okay. Well, we'll start with our scout. Hello. Your name and address, please?
My name is Isla Wiseman Munasar, and I live at 20 East Oaks Road. I have been a Willingboro resident for 9 years. Since the 2nd grade, I've been a scout. I'm currently a life rank BSA scout with Scouting America. You may be wondering, what is Scouting America? Well, Scouting America is the new inclusive name for the organization formerly known as Boy Scouts of America. As scouts, youth learn leadership skills and life skills such as cooking, camping, first aid, and many other important skills. In 2019, BSA was thinking about it, and they made the decision to allow girls into their programs. I began that year as a wolf in Cub Scouts, about this tall. In 5th grade, I crossed over to Scouts BSA, or Boy Scouts, now known as Scouting America. As a Life Scout, I am required to lead a community service project to earn the rank of Eagle Scout. For those of you who don't know, an Eagle Scout is the highest rank you can earn as a youth in Scouting America. When a scout chooses a project, they have to find a sponsoring organization that will benefit from the project. Tonight, I would like to propose a potential Eagle Scout project to you guys in hopes that maybe you guys through Parks and Recreation would like to help me earn my Eagle Scout award to become Willingboro's first female Eagle Scout. I have a plan to create a remembrance garden. This project would be a place for the people to come individually or as a community to like honor memories and historical events that are important to like both the community and the people. As a member of Willingboro, I often visit the JFK Community Center. I feel like this can be the ideal location for the project. If the garden is to be used by the community at large, it needs to be in a location where people of the community go to a lot. So, JFK Center. I think this is an ideal location because the American flag is right there, and that would be a pretty good spot for the garden. You might be wondering what the garden will look like. That would be something I would have to work with you guys to create. But I have an idea that there's a bell like in front of the flag, and people can leave like memories there. It can be like a painted rock, an eco-safe like trinket or something like that. It can be used in community events during the construction, because if the bell is located near the American flag at the JFK Center, it can be used in ceremonies for Memorial Day, Independence Day, and Veterans Day. This leads to another idea I have for a flag retirement. If I can complete my project near Memorial Day or Veterans Day, I have a cloth American flag at home that we can retire. Since flag retirements require burning, I would need to work with the township and the fire department to see if it's possible, and so I can get the appropriate permits. Once approved, I would work with the township to design the ceremony, inviting community organizations, the school district, and just the community in general to participate. You guys might be asking, where is the garden? It would be surrounding the area where the American flag is at the JFK Center, and the bell would hang about right in front of it, not on the side of the JFK Center, but on the other side. I also think this would be a good spot because the senior center is there, so it's accessible for all ages.
Isla, your time is up, hon, but we can talk about it later, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Those things make me happy. My name is Claudine Archer of the Beloved Project. I live at 46 East Stokes Road. The Beloved Project is officially at JFK. I was trying to come up last meeting, but it was a lot, and Claudine, had to go home. For those that don't know, the Beloved Project now serves Willingboro itself. We have an office on Beverly Rancocas Road, which serves all of Burlington County, but we want to specifically let everybody know in Willingboro that if they need assistance with homelessness prevention, meaning if you're getting an eviction and you can prove that you can pay going forward because someone might lose a job, fall back on their rent, but then find a job that can pay forward, that we can, providing we have the funding, we can assist you in keeping your home, because it's hard right now. And the way things are changing with the government, they're more paying more attention to transitional housing as opposed to permanent housing. And we want to be able to assist people in those matters. If you get any funding from us, you have to take a budget and credit class. So, because we're a one-shot deal agency, we help you pay, we teach you how to stay on track, so you can't come back and ask us for more money. In saying that, we also now have a HUD credit counselor attached to our office, our agency. His name is Kendrick Johnson, and he assists with if someone is going into foreclosure, you almost always get a letter in the packet that says, see a HUD credit counselor. So this month alone, in November, we were able to assist 6 families, because some people just don't know what to say sometime and know what route to go, assist them in getting forbearances and modifications so that they can keep their homes. So the thing is for us to keep our residents in Willingboro and not end up in the unhoused pool, because it's not a good thing right now, especially right now in a place where they're criminalizing homelessness. We want to keep people in their homes. We have a few programs that are coming up that I will be sending to the communications department. One for reentry, that I have a grant through the Department of Corrections for an entrepreneurial program for those that are on parole 7 years or less, or have maxed out, that are not, I believe, not under supervision. I don't really know all prison language, so we have instructors for that. But it's to teach them the basics of housing. Most of the time when people hear about housing, it's either construction or real estate, but a lot of people don't know about acquisition, and they don't know about like HVAC and foreclosures, and you don't always have to go into a particular thing. So they start off one way, and in the end, they're like, maybe I can try this, okay? We have a program for single moms, teaching about self-care, budgeting, time management, and also advocacy for their children. These programs will be starting in 2026. I want to make sure that I say, through the opioid grant, we have a support program for families affected by substance abuse. So, because we usually focus on the substance abuser, but not the families of, especially the children of. So, for instance, say someone's parents was a substance abuse when they were younger. They go to rehab, things are well, but the child never got therapy. And what happens is now we have adults, broken adults that never had therapy. And it doesn't matter the age of the child, but we want to be able to focus and have them have a space, a safe space to be able to have conversation and support in that. I want to make sure I said anything. Our office is open right now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 10 to 2 and 5 to 7 for those to come after work. At the JFK Center in room 119.
Ms. Archer.
Yes, it's over? I'm sorry. But I need to just say one more thing. Code Blue, I just need to say it. I'm sorry. There are people that are really, really cold outside. I'm sorry. I run the Code Blue shelter in Lumberton. If you know anybody that's cold outside, I'm sorry. I know you're going to be mad at me.
Ms. Archer, thank you. Hello, good evening.
Hi, my name is Elba Rosario. I live at 15 Shield Lane. I was here a couple months ago and you guys helped me out. The light that was on the corner of Spiralwood and Shield Lane had been down for like almost a year. You guys got it up in like 2 weeks after I came. Thank you very much. My other issue now is I live on the dead end and there've been incidents where they've found stolen cars there. People like to hang out in corners. There's no lighting back there. I'm not sure if that's something that can be looked at later. But that was one thing. And my big issue is the parking. I do live on a dead end, but the people behind me have 11 vehicles and they've been parking in front. And for like the last few weeks, I've either had to chase the garbage truck or he can't get through. There's not enough space. I mean, I have pictures. There's not enough space for a truck to get through. The inspector, I think his name is Daryl, came out and we spoke. He spoke to the neighbors because they have 9 vehicles, a company truck, and a boat. And I just want to find out if there's any way to have if nobody can park on that one side just on trash days, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I've been back and forth with the township about my garbage not getting picked up. And it's because they can't, and now that they have the machines, they don't really want to get out of the car. And he told the inspector right in front of me, the trucks are there, because they have big trucks, and they park it halfway on the grass, but it's still sticking out. And the only thing he can do is tell them they're not allowed to park on the grass. So now they're even further into the street and the trucks can't get in. So I've had to have them pick up trash. I went to the township Saturday, and dropped off my garbage there. So I have to take everything out of the garbage can, put it in my car, and drive it to the dump because they won't move their cars. And when I did question them about it, because I've been there for years, 21 years now, I asked him if they can just not park there on garbage day or, you know, move further back so the truck can get through. He got pissed and told me he's gonna park all his vehicles in front of my house now. So then the inspector came out, he did talk to him after he talked to me, and he told him, it's a street, I don't own the street, I'm not saying I own the street, but I just need my garbage picked up because it's piling up, and then when it piles up, then I get in trouble, so then I have to run to the township to drop it off, because I went 3 weeks without getting garbage pickup, because they couldn't get through. So I just want to see if there's anything they can do as far as maybe not park there on Tuesdays and Thursdays until the garbage truck comes, then you can park all you want.
All right, thank you. We'll give responses after public comment.
Okay,
Thank you.
Good evening. Okay, I'm a little taller. I gotta turn this up. Pat Lindsay Harvey, Medford Lane. Just want to know that the Willingboro Community Development Corporation last night had the opening of the Futuro House exhibit. We showed a movie about the origin of the Futuro House and another one about our current Futuro House. The exhibit will be there until the end of January. Parts of the exhibit will change next month, and we hope to, well, we're working on a lecture that will happen the last day of the exhibit, which is January 31st. So I also want to thank Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Worthy, and Mayor Whitfield for coming out last night to the opening of our exhibit. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Seeing no other public comment is now closed. We'll now provide some responses to our scout. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your civic engagement at this young age. Luckily, our recreation department is here tonight. So, so you can speak to them, get their contact information, and work with them on possible locations. I know your idea is for the JFK Center, but there may be other parks or other locations that it may be better suited for. So I encourage you to get their contact information and work with them on bringing this Eagle Scout Award to fruition. We would be very proud to have the first female Eagle Scout in Willingboro, New Jersey. So it will be great. And we look forward to your progress. Thank you. All right, then we also have Miss Archer is officially in the JFK Center. We encourage you all to go there. And I know she was saying something about a code blue. I encourage you to go if you are in need of housing or part of the unhoused population and need housing. As the weather gets colder and colder, I encourage you to seek out the Beloved Project. They do have hours in the JFK Center, and please go there for assistance if you need. Ms. Rosario, thank you for coming back. I'm glad that they were able to get that light fixed pretty rapidly for you last time. And Mr. Harris, can you please talk about the car parking on Shield, the corner of Spiral Road and Shield, or the dead end?
I will have a conversation with Mr. Tunstall.
Right into the mic.
Sorry, I will have a conversation with Mr. Tunstall and Chief Bucks about that situation and how we're going to deal with it.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
All right, tomorrow. All right, Ms. Rosario, I hope that gets resolved for you as well. And if you need anything else, please come back. And Ms. Lindsay Harvey, it was an honor to be there at the Futuro House exhibit opening. It was a great event highlighting one of Willingboro's oldest attractions. So we appreciate being invited. If you have time, to all of our residents, please go and check out the Futuro House exhibit. It'll be open until the end of January. in the Willingboro Public Library. All right, I think that was all. Is there anything I missed or any other comments from council or Mr. Harris? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Beloved Project was trying to squeeze out some more words, but the 4 minutes were up. And it was just a reminder that there is a code blue. If you are in need of housing, you can dial 211 or get to 71 Arc Road in Lumberton. But don't sleep outside because it is so cold. So if you know people who are challenged with housing insecurities, please pass on. It is a code blue, and there are resources to assist. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Worthy. All right. Seeing no other comment from council, we are at council comments. Council, any final comments before we go into executive session?
Just want to thank everyone for coming out. Stay warm. You know, the weather's supposed to change. It's temperature's supposed to drop. It's supposed to get real slick outside. So just be careful and have a blessed week.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, I just want to once again, I hope everyone had a very safe and happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I look forward to seeing you all on Friday at our tree lighting, and you may catch a glimpse of me riding with Santa in his sleigh. But it's cold. There's a cold blue, so so keep your eyes peeled for that. But we have lots of wonderful holiday events throughout the township, and we look forward to seeing you all there. Once again, thank you for your heroism, Pete and Kim Fabre, and happy holidays to everyone. We look forward to seeing you at our December 16th meeting, and also our reorganization on January 6th. So I think that's all I have this evening. We will need to have executive session this evening, Madam Clerk.
Before that, did you want to consider extending the meeting at all? Just so we don't have to come back out.
I don't think we can get this done in 30 minutes. We'll extend to 10:15, just in case. Yes. I make a motion to extend the meeting to 10:15. I was about to say, y'all really gonna leave me hanging? Nobody's gonna second my motion? Moved by Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh. Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so we're I need a motion to approve resolution 2025-290. The number changed because we added the other resolution. So this is 290 resolution authorizing a closed executive session in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act. This will be for contract negotiations and attorney-client privilege.
All right. I need a motion.
So moved.
A second, please.
Second.
It's like pulling teeth with y'all. Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. We should be back before 10:15. We should be back before 10:15. There may be decisions made upon exiting.
Sam. I was just gonna ask, are you gonna call me? Huh?
Madam Clerk. I'd like to entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I got mo- oh.
We have no decisions to be made after exiting, and I'd like to move to adjourn this meeting at 10:16.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Dr.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Worthy, seconded by Councilman Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Any abstentions? Thank you, Willingboro. Good evening and happy holidays.